Why do some people with a normal amount of skill succeed, while others who are very good at things fail? Why does the student with all perfect grades find it hard to keep a job, but someone with no school training becomes the best in their line of work? Maybe you've felt this way yourself. You look at other people who seem more gifted, more schooled, more naturally talented, and you think, I can never be like them. But what if I told you that being naturally gifted is not as important as we think? What if the true difference between winning and losing has nothing to do with how good you are when you start, but everything to do with how you show up every single day? This is the story of two men in the same kitchen. One had everything going for him. The other had almost nothing, but only one found success. Stay with me until the very end, because this will change how you see yourself forever. In the center of a busy city stood the Grande Maison restaurant. It was known for its fancy French food and its very tough rules. The head chef, Chef Laurent, was known for two things: always wanting things to be perfect and being able to see great promise in people. On the same Monday morning, two men came to work in his kitchen. The first was Alex Chen, 25 years old. He went to cooking school and finished with the highest honors. He had learned from famous chefs, gone to Paris for training, and his knife skills were perfect. When he walked into the kitchen on his first day, he showed great self-belief, almost too much. I trained at Le Cordon Bleu, he told the other cooks, fixing his very clean white chef's coat. The second was David Martinez, 23 years old. He had never been to cooking school. He could not pay for it. He had spent the last 3 years washing dishes at a small restaurant. He watched the cooks work. He taught himself from online videos late at night. When he walked into the Grande Maison kitchen, his hands shook a little. His chef's coat was borrowed and a bit too big. He did not know half of the French words the other chefs used. But David had something else, something that no school could teach. From the very first day, the difference was clear. Alex came exactly on time, never early. He did his tasks with perfect technique, but no extra effort. When asked to help others, he would look at the clock and say, "That is not my job." He knew he was talented, and he thought that was enough. David came 30 minutes early every morning. He watched everything. He asked many questions. He stayed late to clean even the hidden corners that no one checked. When a coworker was having trouble, David would finish his own work, then quietly help them. Chef Laurent watched them both, saying nothing. At night, David would lie awake, worry churning in his stomach. Am I good enough? Everyone here went to school. They know things I do not. Maybe I do not belong. But every morning, he showed up anyway. 6 weeks passed. The kitchen found its daily rhythm. Alex remained good at his job, but distant. David remained humble, but eager to learn. Then one Friday, during the morning prep, Chef Laurent made an announcement that changed everything. In 3 months, I am opening a second restaurant. I need a sous chef, someone to help me set up the kitchen from the start. I have been watching all of you. 2 people have caught my eye, Alex and David. The kitchen went quiet. For the next month, I will test both of you. You will each lead different parts of the kitchen. You will handle busy mealtimes. You will create new dishes. At the end, one of you will become my sous chef. The other, he paused, will stay in your current role. Alex smiled with great confidence. This is clear, he thought. I have the training, the papers, the technique. David is a kind person, but he is not even a real chef. He went to Chef Laurent after the meeting. Chef, I am thankful for the chance, but honestly, is this truly needed? My past work speaks for itself. Chef Laurent's face did not change. ___, quote __. 10 underscore underscore. David felt his chest tighten. Fear whispered in his ear. Underscore underscore. Quote underscore. 11 underscore underscore. But then he remembered why he started cooking. Not for fame, not for titles, but because he loved it. Because every dish he made was a way to bring happiness to someone's day. He took a deep breath and thought, I may not be the most talented, but I can be the one who works the hardest. The first week of the competition began. Alex did his tasks exactly as he was told. His technical skills could not be denied. But when a new cook made a mistake and cried during service, Alex rolled his eyes and mumbled, Amateurs. David's skills were less polished, but his way of being was different. When that same new cook panicked later in the week, David stayed calm. He said softly, We will fix this together. Then, the busiest Saturday night of the month came. The restaurant was completely full. There were 3 private parties. People said a food critic was in the dining room. Halfway through dinner service, the main oven broke down. Chef Laurent gathered his team. He said it was a disaster. He told them they must change their plans and find new ways to work. He asked who had ideas. Alex, who knew a lot about cooking, felt stuck. He thought. David stepped forward. His hands shook, but his voice was steady. He said, For the next 3 hours. David worked harder than ever before. His hands burned, his back ached, sweat ran down his face, but he did not stop. He helped every cooking station. He changed every dish. He kept the team's spirits high when they felt like giving up. Meanwhile, Alex only did his own tasks. He did nothing more. He quietly complained about the difficult working conditions. When the last meal was served, the kitchen staff fell down, very tired. They had made it through. Chef Laurent stood in the middle of the kitchen. He looked at both young men. He still said nothing, but his eyes saw everything. The next morning, Sunday, the restaurant was closed. Chef Laurent asked both Alex and David to come in early. They stood in the quiet kitchen, still tired from the night before. Chef Laurent placed 2 knives on the counter. One knife was beautiful. It was perfectly balanced and expensive. It shone brightly. The other knife was old and worn. Its handle was wrapped with tape. Chef Laurent picked up the beautiful knife. He said, Alex, this knife cost $800. It was made by a master with perfect weight and a perfect sharp edge. Do you know what happens if I never use it? If I leave it in the drawer because I am too proud to make it dirty? He put it down. It becomes useless. Beautiful, but useless. He picked up the old knife. This knife cost $20 from a restaurant store. I have had it for 15 years. The handle is broken. The blade has been sharpened so many times, it is now half its first size. But do you know why it is my favorite? He held it up to the light. Because I use it every single day. I take care of it. I trust it. And it has never let me down. Chef Laurent looked at Alex. He said, You are the $800 knife. You have impressive achievements, a beautiful work history, perfect cooking skills, but you do not want to get dirty. You think your natural ability is enough, so you do not push yourself. You do not help others. You wait for praise without working hard for it. Alex's face turned red. The chef then turned to David. He paused. He looked directly at David, then to Alex. This talk changed something in both men. Alex went home that Sunday and could not sleep. For the first time in many years, he felt shame. He thought about every time he had looked down on others, every time he had refused to help because it was not his job. Every time he had gotten by on his achievements instead of his hard work. Monday morning, Alex arrived early. Not just on time, but early. He watched David prepare small food items. For the first time, he asked, 27. It felt strange at first. His pride fought with his new understanding, but slowly he started to change. He stayed late. He taught a new cook a skill instead of criticizing them. When someone needed help, he stepped in. It was not perfect. Old ways do not go away overnight, but the effort was there. David, meanwhile, began to truly believe in himself. Chef Laurent's words kept playing in his mind. He truly belonged here. He started cooking much better. He was no longer full of doubt. He even shared ideas for new dishes. He felt more sure of himself. This was not pride, just quiet confidence. Then came the final tryout. Each chef had to make one special dish. It had to show who they were. Alex made a perfect dish. It looked amazing. He used hard skills from his cooking school. It was very fancy, but it felt cold. David made something simple. It was like his mother's food, but he used new restaurant skills. It was not as fancy, but it had a warm feeling. Every part of it told a story. Chef Laurent tasted their dishes. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. Alex, your dish is perfect. Every way you cooked it is right. Alex smiled, thinking he had won. But it has no heart. I don't taste you in this food. I taste your lessons. He then looked at David's plate. David, your dish is simpler, but I taste strong feelings. I taste a story. I taste someone who cooks because he loves it, not because he wants to make a show. That night, Chef Laurent brought all the kitchen workers together. I have made my choice for the new sous chef. Everyone held their breath. But first, he said, I want to say something. Alex, you have changed so much in these last 2 weeks, more than in all the weeks before. I have seen you help others. I have seen you come early. I have seen you try. That is important. Keep doing that, and you will have a great future. Alex nodded slowly. He felt small but thankful. However, the job goes to David. David's eyes filled with water. He could not speak. He thought about washing dishes 3 years ago. He wondered if he would ever get a real chance. He thought about every doubt, every fear, every time he almost gave up. Chef Laurent put his hand on David's shoulder. You earned this, not because you are the most gifted, but because you showed me something rarer than any gift. You showed steady goodness in your actions every single day. 6 months later, the second restaurant opened well. David ran the kitchen. He had the same humble and hard-working spirit that got him there. And Alex? He stayed at the first Grande Maison. But he was different now. He became a guide for younger cooks. He shared not just how to cook, but also the important lesson he learned. Being good at something means nothing if you don't have good character. My friend, maybe you have felt like David. Like you don't have enough schooling, not enough skill, not enough natural ability to win. Or maybe you have felt like Alex, like your papers should be enough. You wonder why effort is even needed when you are already good. Here is what I need you to know. Your gift is where you start. Your mindset is where you finish. Your gift helps you get in the door. Your mindset keeps you there. Your gift makes people notice you for a moment. Your mindset earns their deep respect forever. Remember 3 simple truths. First, you can learn skills. Your mindset is a choice you make each morning. Second, the person who works hard with okay skills will always last longer than someone who just rides on great skills. Third, being good when you start is not what makes you win. It is about being steady, humble, and dedicated every single day after. So, here is what I ask of you. Stop looking at where someone else is in their journey and comparing it to your beginning. Stop waiting until you are good enough to even try. Stop thinking your natural gifts matter most. Instead, ask yourself, how do I act? Do I help others? Do I stay strong when things are hard? Do I keep learning even when I am tired? Because those questions will shape your future more than any piece of paper ever will. You might not be the most naturally gifted person in the room, but you can be the most dedicated, the most helpful, the most steady. And in the end, that wins over natural gifts every single time. If this story touched your heart, if you have ever doubted yourself because others seemed more talented, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Tell me in the comments, what is one way you will choose a good attitude over natural talent this week? Let's build a group of people who show up, work hard, and lift each other up. I will be back with another story to help you grow. Until then, remember, it is not about where you start, it is about how you show up each day after.